Sa usaping legalidad, medyo nakakalito. At kapag nalilito, who you gonna call? Attorney Lorna Kapunan. So, Attorney Kapunan, handa na ba kayo?
Ako?
Baka dapat sila ang tanungin natin, handa na ba kayo? Kay Attorney Lorna. Co-anchor ko siya sa face-to-face. Kaya maraming konsultasyon ang nalilibre niya. Ito importanteng tanong, Attorney Lorna. The events now in Congress, lower house and upper, is historic, don't you think? I think I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Not even the Napoles time was it like this.
It's a tsunami.
Oo, no?
It's carrying everything in its wake. I mean, it's...
It's a political bloodbath.
Yeah.
But we want to make a clear delineation between politically dying and legally being incarcerated.
Yeah,
okay?
well.
Being found guilty by law.
Correct. Before I start answering that, nobody politically dies here in this country. They just reinvent themselves.
That's also what Senator Juan Ponce Enrile said. Today a villain, tomorrow a hero, and then a villain again, and then a hero again.
Yes. It's a function of resources, logistics, and it's a function of sometimes lack of information of our people or disinformation. So you can always reinvent yourself. Or you make a big donation to a Cebu earthquake. There are happenings that can be controlled by politicians to save their political life. They're worse than cats. Cats have 9 lives. I mean, you take care of animals.
I guess it depends on the stamina and the determination of the politician if he will keep on reinventing.
Sometimes it's not the politician himself or herself. They reinvent themselves through the generations. Kasi dynasty yan eh. You may kill a politician today, but there are dynasties that follow him. Dynasties that are of the same political mindset, political culture, and political interests. So they will never die, Korina.
You've never seen like a family of politicians who went against the grain of what the forefathers or the grandfather or the father started? For example, Bongbong Marcos. And trying to redeem the Marcos name by starting this entire investigation. It's possible, hindi ba?
It is possible. As a matter of fact, we're beginning to see it. In all fairness to our current president, BBM, we're beginning to see political will. At the start, there was revisionism, political revisionism, people trying to rewrite, remove from the books martial law days. But I think the good start of our president now is he admits. He has started to admit that he has to leave a legacy that is different from his father's own legacy. As we always say, actions should speak louder than words.
Correct. The action being that heads should roll.
Yes, starting with his SONA. And after the SONA, successive executive action. He's designated Vince Perez. He has called for a revamp, courtesy resignations of his cabinet. And even in this flood mess, he's there. He is there. So, and he created, of course, this independent commission.
What is your opinion about some people saying, especially the old-timers from the EDSA revolution? Kasama yata ako dun old-timer na rin ba ako? But those who really went against the older Marcos, Ferdinand, they're usually the ones saying that, well, PBBM is not necessarily innocent from all of this. For after all, he could have vetoed the budget. All those insertions had to go through him, and he approved it. But, so what do you think is the best argument against his culpability?
First, the best argument against cynicism or disbelief for people is a real show of good faith. And to me, that show of good faith is if people are jailed. Our Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act is 1960 pa yan. It's not new. You don't need this brouhaha going on in the Senate and the House in aid of legislation. There is legislation. Ang dami dyan, Korina, Anti-Graft Corrupt Practices Act. We have the Constitution on Public Accountability, Money Laundering Laws, our Code of Ethics, for public officials. Meron tayong anti-bribery laws, plunder laws. Lahat yan are all in the books. Why do you even need to legislate? All you need to do is implement and put people in jail.
Ayun.
That's it.
So if PBBM is able to do that, then that show of good faith should exonerate him from doubt that he wants a reform.
Correct.
Hindi ba?
But he can only initiate. Remember, we have separation of powers. The executive, through his cabinet ministers, can clean up their respective departments, no, and file cases. But it doesn't end there. Meron pang ombudsman for public officials. May sandigan bayan yan. It's not only public officials, it's private officials who connive with the public officials sa sandigan yan. But since 1960, sino pang na-convict natin? 2, 3. After that, na-acquit naman. Yung isang na-convict naman, hindi naman sinole. Yung ninakaw na pera, di ba? So, history should not repeat itself. We should learn from history.
Ayan.
Plus, there is this added pressure from all over the world. We've seen it in Korea, we've seen it in Nepal, we've seen it in countries, Singapore, that have put to jail heads of government, their first ladies, or ransacked palaces, you know, so, and there is a whole new generation. Sabi nga nila, we have to wait for 3 more generations, Korina.
For what?
For the good to emerge, for the Gen Z, for the Gen Z to be there. Kasi 3 presidencies. Kasi that's 18 years. 18 years from now, those who are 30 years old, 35 years old, can run for Senate, can run for the president, can run for ano.
But many of those guys now in Congress are from political dynasties.
From political dynasties, which is why that's one of the things, if there's anything at all that the Senate should do, and the House should do, is a anti-political dynasty law. It doesn't have to be embracive. Pwede namang thin dynasty Pero ang nangyayari ngayon, fat dynasties.
Right.
Ang fat dynasty, hindi lang kamag-anak.
You know what Congressman Kiko Barsaga said? There actually is an anti-political dynasty law. But it's not, it doesn't have implementing rules and regulations.
That's wrong.
Uh-huh.
We have in the Constitution a provision that says Congress shall pass a law against political dynasties.
Okay.
Congress has never done that.
Ayun.
But at the local level, at the barangay level, meron na. Pero wala sa national level. So, if I'm not mistaken, meron ng batas na nagsasabi you cannot run for barangay or for tanod or sanggunian ba, something
Yun
like
lang, hanggang doon lang ang kaya nilang i-implement yung anti-political dynasty. So, okay. So, maybe that's what Congressman Barsaga meant. Maybe I misunderstood him. He did say that it's there, but Congress isn't acting on it. Oo.
Yes, it is there in the Constitution, but Congress isn't acting on it. Because it cannot act against self-interest.
Right,
That
right.
is why people are saying, in this whole mess, maybe a giant move forward is to legislate for a constitutional convention. Kasi yung constitutional convention is where, number one, you can elect academicians, lawyers, economists, marginalized groups to write the constitution. The party list law should be abolished. Or should be modified.
There are too many of them.
Not only that, they're extensions of the political dynasties.
Right. Oo.
And
they don't truly represent the marginalized.
sadly, that is because of the Supreme Court, where in a fairly recent decision, the Supreme Court said, we don't need to be a member of the marginalized sector, no? But if it is your advocacy, you can run. So sons of past presidents running for party list.
Well, that's why I'm wondering about the Gen Z, making a difference by the time, they're all the leaders because the 30-year-old guys now in Congress who come from political dynasties will themselves have their wives and their sons or grandsons run for office later on.
That's why we have to be vigilant. Kasi sometimes may tinatawag na cancel generation. Cancel sila. They talk there in the rallies and the next day, ganun ba? Cancel. Or it's sometimes it's just fear of being left out, no? Or sometimes it's faddish.
Uso lang. Uso lang pero wala namang mangyayari.
Correct. That's why yung September 21, remember we featured this in our face-to-face in September 21 and how we said that in our show, Korina, we're doing it, you are doing it at the barangay level. We are doing it at the level of the impoverished family who cannot, pinag-aawayan nila basura, hindi ba?
I know, it's shocking.
Shocking
It's
kasi,
really shocking that I think the people in Congress or the Senate, they don't know how poor people
know.
really are. And that they have no access to what is due them.
correct.
They don't even know that they have those rights
Correct.
or privileges.
Correct. Or, meron naman, pati yun, pinagkaka-interesan ng barangay captain. For instance,
Correct.
4-piece. Hindi nagbibigay sa lahat ng kailangan ng 4-piece. Binibigay sa mga kapartido o kapamilya, etc. etc.
Right.
So, it takes shows like people like you to educate. Kasi it's now media. It is now media. Whether it's radio or TV, it's media. It caused a revolution in Nepal because tinanggal ang social media,
Right.
tapos binalik. Also, we have to value of human rights. It should start with you. Your freedom to speak,
Right.
your freedom to assembly, your freedom to demand food on the table.
Correct.
Huwag tayong maging victim mentality. Kung minsan yan nakikita natin sa face-to-face. Korina, kailangan ko ng
Hindi, kasi wala silang nakikitang ilaw sa, light at the end of the tunnel. Hindi nila makita kasi parang sinasadya yata ng maraming mga barangay na hindi
To keep them
ipaalam.
poor.
To keep them poor.
And
It's really
dependent.
crazy, I know.
Correct.
But maybe discussions like this can actually awaken the journalists also, myself included. Because honestly, after President Duterte and the closure of ABS-CBN, journalism became lethargic.
Correct.
I mean, really, how many follow-throughs on deeply investigative reports have happened since Duterte's time? So, yeah, maybe it will happen, but
Because your breed, your journalists as well, or those who were in TV before, are also challenged. They have to earn a living, so naglalabas ng TikTok, naglalabas ng kung ano-anong shows, no? Na wala namang content. Na nakakatuwa nga, ang dami nilang followers because they make money from followers.
Right. So people are distracted because of the
People are
too
distracted.
many platforms that we have to feed. So lahat mababaw, kumbaga, lahat
Correct.
mababaw. Now, okay, going back on track, yung legality, no, ng mga binabanggit ng mga pangalan, ang bilis lang magbanggit ng pangalan. Everybody was shocked when, the names of si Roman Romulo or Marcy Teodoro, Arjo Ataide, and all of these other congressmen. Joel Villanueva, who is the head of a church, of a flock. Jinggoy, again, the third time. She's Escudero, tumanggap pala ng contribution from a contractor. Okay, let's talk about that. Accepting a contribution from a contractor automatically makes you liable?
Yes.
From a contractor?
Not even from a contractor. Accepting a contribution, let's say, in this case, 30 million contribution. Will anyone give you 30 million in exchange for nothing? So it is with an expectancy. Under our COMELEC laws, that already is considered a violation of our election laws.
So if that is in the law, then the law has miserably failed. Because I know of 200 million peso donations. I don't know what magic they do, pero maraming tumatanggap ng mga donasyon na mahigit 30 million pesos.
Ang lusod dyan is the friends of. The friends of donating. No? So they hide behind the friends of. The law is there. Again, sadly, in this country, it's a matter of implementation.
Okay.
Our justice system.
So in the case of Senator Chis Escudero, if he had actually admitted receiving that amount, That makes him ineligible to run for any public office in perpetuity.
Correct. 6 years, 6 years imprisonment, at least, perpetual disqualification from running for public office.
Ang bigat nun, ha?
Mabigat yun. That's why it's important to watch our COMELEC chair, because before he became Chairman Garcia, he was a very competent election practitioner, and so many of the politicians now in high places were his clients. And I am told by someone that even Cheese is his client.
Paano yun? Isn't that a conflict of
He
interest?
should inhibit
Clearly.
himself.
This comment, our current
Garcia,
comment,
yeah.
Garcia? So bakit hindi nakita yon?
It's known in the legal circles kasi.
It's known in the legal circles. So even if he had extracted himself from practice, he should still be ineligible because all these guys became his clients.
Yes.
Should be, right?
Should be. Mabigat ang COMELEC eh.
Eh, syempre.
Impeachable ang... It's one of the impeachable positions is COMELEC.
Oo, right.
Tatlo lang sila eh. Sa commissions, COMELEC yan. Impeachable. COMELEC, Civil Service, COA. Together with the President, the Vice President, and the Justices of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Ganyang katindi
So a
ang
case could
COMELEC.
actually pwedeng ihabol ang isang kaso laban sa current COMELEC chairman.
If he shows partiality or... Kasi sometimes inhibiting yourself doesn't mean that you will be impartial. You still have commission there
I know, but
who you can influence.
But he should, well, for me, ako lang naman ito, he should not be sitting as COMELEC chairman if he had many clients who are running.
Yeah.
What did you think of the speech of the former Senate President, Jesus Escudero?
It was good telenovela. In fact, nainis nga ako kasi meron akong hinihintay na conclusion ng ng isang K-pop movie na interrupt. I'm saying this because
Pwede mo naman i-pause. Ano ka ba? Oh, and then?
I listened with intent, no?
Me too. I was
Because-
waiting for something.
Because wala namang admission. People were saying, teka, yung exclusive bar mo, partner mo, siya ang sinabi ni Bernardo na binigyan ng pera, di ba? We had hoped for a denial. No, I don't know. I'm not involved. The money did not go to me. Pero the connection is business partner nila ni Hart, no? He did not even say anything about
Right.
that. So, the best defense, we lawyers say, is offense. So, he did not defend himself, but he hit others. He hit
Right.
others. And the biggest target, literally and figuratively, is the ex-speaker of the House.
Do you think there was substance in his accusations, like clear evidence proving his...
He's claiming a conspiracy. That's the hardest thing to do. He's claiming a script. If there is a script, number one, who's writing the script?
Right.
Number two, is he saying na walang script sa Senate? Marcoleta producing a perjured witness na tinakwil ng notary public? All of these people standing up there and now confusing the issue with a resolution to release the president from the ICC because of failing health, etc. So, nako-confuse na. Then you have a budget hearing. You have a budget hearing where people may have forgotten that the vice president herself, who was subject of an aborted impeachment because of misuse of her confidential funds. And they praise her. They praise her for what? For providing books to X number of books, for providing X number of gadgets, for providing, wait a minute, what about your confidential funds?
Right.
So, ang script dyan sa Senado, and with her friends in the Senate, again, is confusion. So, I'm saying, if there is a script, both sides, many sides there have script.
Many of the senators were seen after the speech of Senator Jesus Escudero having pictures taken with the Vice President Sara Duterte. So I imagine her saying, picture lang naman, ano ba ibig sabihin nun, right? So,
Well, kung naglalaro kayong ng Monopoly, it's your get out of jail free
right, okay.
card. No, because that is their insurance. So, I'm saying there's dual allegiance nga.
Right. Okay, so for transparency's sake, Attorney Lorna is in the prosecution, right? For the impeachment of the Vice President.
I volunteered for the prosecution.
Right. Itutuloy pa rin ba yun? Very quickly lang. Otherwise, we digress.
Yes.
Yes, itutuloy, refile
Yes.
in February.
Because whether or not the Supreme Court comes out with a decision by February, the House doesn't even need to refile. It's in the archives. It can be removed from the archives and made active again. If Tito Sen and majority are still of the belief that the impeachment should continue.
Okay. So, are budget insertions illegal? They're not, right? I mean, you can do that.
There is a difference, Korina, between insertions and amendments. Unfortunately, insertions have gotten a bad name, no? Ang insertion, pwedeng amendment, but there is a substantial requirement. Yung insertion na amendment, dapat approvein rin ng plenary session. Certain senators were saying na wala naman yung 160 million na yan sa GAA, no? Well, there is another animal called unprogrammed
Funds.
no? But people are using, politicians are using unprogrammed funds to park whatever funds they want to get. No? It has been shown that certain congressmen are saying, why did you park it under my name when I did not request it for my district? So yung congressman na yon may pass-through fee, bibigyan mo yung congressman na yon ng 20%. Huwag ka na lang maganan. So maraming gimmick niyan, but to your question, insertions or amendments are allowed provided that it is approved. But after the approval, wala na dapat yung insertions. Ang insertions nangyayari sa BICAM and what is called a small committee before it goes to the president.
Another legal question is, do you really think, well, this is an opinion, do you really think that somebody is going to jail? This practice has been going on for as long as we can remember. I guess it just didn't blow out. Hindi sumabog yung bulkan dati dahil medyo mahinhin sila noon at ngayon medyo may garapala na nga, sabi nila, no? Kaya sumabog ang bulkan. But do you think somebody's actually going to go to jail? They've
Yes.
been very careful.
My answer is, there is a God. There is a God, and He sent 3 floods. He's sending typhoons. He's sending earthquakes. He's sending hunger. And he's sending devastation. There is a God. It is because of that our people are affected in their daily lives. So dati, hindi pa sila apektado kasi kaya pa nila eh. Ngayon, not only the DE class, it's everybody from A to E, from F. It's all the generations up to our alpha generations.
Pero how difficult will it be to actually prove everything that's coming out of the mouths of these engineers, DPWH engineers, contractors? Nagbanggit sila ng mga pangalan. Paano mo mapapatunayan na talagang tumanggap si Joel Villanueva, tumanggap yung ibang mga congressman?
The problem with corruption and bribery and malversation is walang resibo yan. So you will have to depend on credibility of witnesses. These days, sadly, the witnesses being volunteered under the Witness Protection Program lack credibility.
They are part of the perpetration.
Yes, because they're part of the conspiracy to defraud the public of public funds. No? So,
Paano nga yun kung walang resibo, walang puro magiging circumstantial ang basis to actually charge someone? I think they've already charged. The NBI has already charged quite a few of them.
this is where we say, miski na walang resibo, this is where we say, res ipsa loquitur, the thing will speak for itself. We have ghost bridges. Unfortunately, we also have ghost senators who don't talk, no?
Akala ko nga, nahalal ba siya? Uy, nanalo pala siya.
Nanalo pala siya.
Andiyan pala siya, no?
Oo nga.
Okay, oo.
But then that is why it's very important what our independent commission is doing, because they will have physical evidence. And physical evidence is as good as documentary evidence, di ba?
Right. So, madaling magpakulong ng DPWH engineer at yung contractor.
Correct.
Paano yung mga nilagyan? Yung mga may 25% na mga legislators?
That is where you will have to evaluate the value of a district engineer or a DPW employee telling the truth. Because number one, they can qualify as state witness because they're not the most guilty. Or in the lack, if there is no direct evidence, state witness rules can apply. Kasi apat yan eh. Dapat there is no direct evidence available. Dapat the testimony can be corroborated, tapos least guilty, and walang prior conviction. Eh kung maniwala ka naman sa isang tao na may prior conviction o moral turpitude case, eh hindi naman ka-credible.
Hanggang dun lang talaga? I mean, I'm sure lalaban yung congressman na it's your word against mine. Nobody saw it. It's not in my bank account. Ang dali lang naman magtago ng pera sa ilalim ng kama nga, pwede. Ikaw lang ang nagsasabi niyan. So how do you prove now that a legislator accepted the money?
Right now, ang Independent Commission has no coercive powers. Pag ayaw mo mag-appear doon, it cannot jail you. It cannot imprison you. It cannot hold you in custody.
The ICI?
Yeah, because under that Executive Order 94, walang coercive powers. Hindi lang yan. There are two things that needs to be amended either by executive order or legislation. Number one, walang security of tenure. Kanya si Magalong, even if he was dubbed as advisor or investigator, tinanggal. I think he was getting too close to the fire. So, tinanggal siya. So, walang security of tenure ang members. Number two, walang fiscal independence. Pag nawala ng budget yan, yung Independent Commission yan, paano makakapunta sa Mindoro? Paano makakapunta sa Bulacan, sa Mindanao, sa Davao City, which is 51 billion
Right.
in funds, no?
So whatever the findings of the ICI are have to be forwarded to
The Ombudsman.
the Ombudsman.
And they already did that against ex-congressman. Nag-file na sila, I think yesterday, the other day, together with several others.
And that will compel Congressman Ko to come back to the Philippines?
Well, he claims that he doesn't have, since he resigned from Congress, he doesn't have to come back. Because yung travel permit niya, linimit mo. Wala nang limit yan kasi hindi siya congressman. But now he's being charged, so he has to come back. Otherwise, there will be no evidence in his favor and he will be charged all the way to the Sandigan. No? And when he's charged there and there is a warrant of arrest, we can probably ask the aid of an Interpol.
Last question. People are saying, ay, kailangan makulong si Senate President at dating Senate President at dating Speaker. That's not going to be easy. I mean, if it is at all true, hindi magiging madali na patunayan, hindi ba, na talagang tumanggap sila?
That's correct. Unless you have direct evidence, unless you have state witnesses, unless you have physical evidence na eh. Kung, kunyari, for instance, Joel Villanueva said, hiningi ko yan para sa multipurpose center. Saan ang multipurpose center? And then, yung dineliver na pera sa rest house. Kaninong rest house yan? Di ba? Or, for speaker, is it true na rine-renovate yung bahay mo? Nung dineliver yung mga removal na pera na yan? These are verifiable facts. So,
or even the weight of every maleta, which they say is impossible to carry.
Impossible.
Oo, to
Hindi
carry
yan,
that
or
much
just
cash.
getting inside the gates of DASMA, no? Meron namang verifiable facts. And plus the fact that they have the resources. Unless their monies are frozen, they can hire the best lawyers in town.
Naku, ang dami ko pang gustong tanungin kasi may impeachment pa. Pero next time, last na lang talaga, pakitutok sa kanyang rubber shoes. Ang pinaka-importanting tanong sa lahat, saan mo nabibili yung ganyang rubber shoes, Atty. Lorna?
Ito naman weapon.
Weapon?
Secret weapon.
Looks deadly to me.
Deadly yan. No,
Pag sinipakan yan,
it's a health
butas
issue.
ang tagiliran.
I've developed a bad back. So, rubber shoes na nga yan. Pero, syempre, pag nag-a-appear ka sa korte, dapat may konting bling naman para,
Oo naman.
para hindi nila sabihin contempt of court.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Korina.
Attorney Lorna,
Always a
libre na
pleasure.
naman ito. Handa na ba kayo sa kanyang mga payo? Thank you po.